DK24 and this video is entitled Rig Rundown, which does exactly what it says in the tin. It's going to be about my gear, how I achieve my tone, the Yngwie videos, Paganini, and my own kind of personal tone, and also hopefully dispelling some myths about guitar tone, which has become this mythological, unobtainable goal for most, which is bollocks. And that's invented by guitar companies who want you to buy their £10,000 relic Strat, you know, made deep in the caves of Fender USA by some intrepid luthiers, and also probably by some guitar legends who like to come across a bit more clever than they actually are. I think if you're a good player and you've got good technique, etc., and you're creative, then having good guitar tone is literally just about buying the right gear. Okay, well that's enough introduction. I'm going to go through each one of my guitars separately, the pickups I've put in there, and my amp, EQ settings for Yngwie and Paganini and my own music and all that, my theories in guitar tone, my pedals, and I'll even put a chapter on each of those so you can skip to what interests you. And we're going to have a jolly good time, so hop on, get ready, and hopefully you'll even learn something. Okay, here's the amp that I use. It's a 1985 JCM 800. It's a combo which I used to use for gigs, but these days I actually play it through this load box, which goes into the DAW and acts as a speaker simulator, as well as it gives me the capabilities of actually being able to record silently. All you can hear is the fan on that 2 notes, which cools the amp down, which gets obviously really hot when it's played at full tilt. Speakers are 75 watt Celestians. It's a great sounding amp, and as you can see, it's really been gigged. It's a real thing. Anyway, tone controls, don't use that channel, the clean channel, never heard of it. Anyway, lead sound, have the pre-up on full, gain on full, and for my tone that I used on the Paganini, I actually prefer to have a middle and bass up full and a little less treble. Turn the presence all the way up. Nice bit of reverb on there as well. As you can see, the volume master. Unfortunately, this amp doesn't go to 11. Well, this one just goes to 8, which is where I've put it. Yeah, so that's my EQ. Just change that quickly. This is the EQ I use for the Yngwie videos. He cuts the bass like Richie Blackmore. I find that sounds best too. Then I just turn the treble in the middle up full still. I think he actually has his middle and treble on 6 in real life, and the bass on 0. But I like this sound, and it sounds great obviously with a neck single coil. It's still got a bit of bite with the treble, and presence up full always, because everyone likes presence. Okay, so the first guitar I'm going to talk about is the guitar with the most sentimental value to me. It's my 2004 USA Strat, which I bought brand new, all the way back in the day, and it's been through a lot. It's very beat up from lots of gigs and chucking it around, etc. Recently, if you can see there, I actually scalloped this guitar myself just a few weeks ago actually. think I did a pretty good job. Yeah, I really like scallop guitars. I'm not going to do it to my Charvels. Actually, they've got quite tall frets, and they're too good and perfect, and the intonation's perfect on them. So I'm not going to go to it with a file like I did this one. I mean, I was taking a risk, but I did a good job, and it feels really nice. So I'm happy. A couple of modifications. It's got a brass block, brass saddles, brass nut a la Malmsteen, which does nothing to the tone. Honestly, if you've got like stainless steel saddles and block in your tremolo, it's really going to do nothing. But it was inexpensive, and I thought it was worth doing. I've also got a Wilkinson bridge on this because I can tighten the whammy bar with a Allen key rather than a screw-in Fender, which is awful. And if you can see there, it's actually signed by Uli Roth, who I got to jam with for all of 4 bars once at a guitar clinic, which was a great experience. Also, I've also got a huge crack in this guitar. It was sitting on top of my amp once at a gig, and someone knocked it off. And big old crack, which it's never got any worse, and I don't think it ever affected the resonance of the guitar. Pickups are standard. They're called American Standard pickups that they were using in the USA Strats but I think between 93, 2004, and then they started using the Fat Strats and Texas Specials, which I think these are basically Texas Special pickups if you play through one of those, but lower output. But yeah, it's a lovely tone, lovely Fender tone. Okay, second guitar is probably the one you're most familiar with. It's my Charvel SoCal, which is not stock, as a lot of people ask me where I got it. These come with humbuckers, and I wanted to make a Strat that I could actually use, Floyd Rose, staying tune, etc. So I got this pickguard custom made, put in bare knuckle Irish Tours, and I really love bare knuckle pickups. They're pricey, but I think they're well worth it. And all my Charvels have bare knuckles in. If it's a humbucker, it's a VH2, which is like based on the Van Halen Brown sound, and these Irish Tours, which are just kind of moderate output. Upgrade for a Strat, really. Great tone. Yeah, I love the neck, like I was talking about with the Strat. This is 43 nut, 43 mil at the nut. Floyd Rose, you know, doesn't go. Great sound. Yeah, it just doesn't go out of tune. It's so much more usable, and I guess it's my Ingve guitar because once I saw they made it in this colour, I rushed out to the shops and I got my vintage white Strat finally. Next guitar, something different. This is my Charvel DK24. I got this guitar in 2019, and I love it. If I had a signature guitar, this would be it. Believe it or not, this is the one that suits my playing the most. It's amazing. Like, just there's nothing. Look at that heel. There's nothing to stop you getting anywhere. Even playing up there. which is, you almost have to play like this on a Strat. There's no problem. It's great. 24 frets, which I never had before, is cool. The one thing that does do is move the neck pickup slightly further towards the bridge, which creates a different tone, which is cool. After the Strat, which has a very kind of warm sound, it's a bit kind of halfway towards being the middle pickup. Yeah, wicked guitar. Like I said, I've made, like all my guitars actually, I've made some modifications. I distant the tone, I never used that. I put a three-way switch, I didn't want all the in-betweenies. It's got VH1 humbucker, which is really cool. I do prefer single coils. I'm a single coil guy. But you know, a bridge humbucker is a good thing to have on some of the guitars. Not a fan of neck humbuckers. It's very woolen, deep sound. Although I do have another guitar which I'll show you after this, the same as this, but with a twin humbucker, because I guess it is good to have. But yeah, no, it's a great guitar. I just love the playability of it. The only thing I would change is the neck's got 10-16 radius. I do prefer the 12-16 radius, which is on the SoCal. Yeah, that's it really. Yeah, wicked guitar. And yeah, the main guitar I use for Paganini. Guitar. It's my Charvel DK24 HH. Again, you can see it's not standard. I put in VH2s again into this. Like I said on the previous time, I'm not a big fan really of neck humbuckers. It's a bit too woolen. And humbuckers in general, but it is good to have this. But like, again, like with the other guitars, 24 frets and the pickup's just slightly further back towards the bridge. So it's got a tiny bit more bite, but you can still get like the Sweet Child of Mine sound, which normally is hell to my ears. But yeah, it's a wicked guitar. It's supposedly identical to this, but the neck is even seems a bit thinner on this, and it's really easy to play, and I can get the action so low. So for like when I did my Paganini, the most fiendishly difficult pieces, I actually intended to use this guitar because it made it, you know, a little bit easier. Yeah, wicked guitar. It's tuned down to D. Tuned down a whole step at the moment because I play some Symphony X on there, etc. And it gives me the option of having a slightly heavier sound. But yeah, it's a wicked guitar. I don't use it as much as the pink one. It's not quite as resonant. That's a slightly more screaming, more resonance, better sounding guitar, but yeah, I really like this guitar. It's just so easy to play, which is nice. Okay, first things first, overdrive pedals. I like a simple rig. I use the NS2 noise suppressor. When you've got a Marshall amp on a 11, well 8 in this case, plus an overdrive pedal in front of it, that's a lot of noise. So the NS2 takes all away all that bit of the hiss and doesn't take away any of the tone. So that's a great pedal. That's always on in my lead sounds. My main overdrive is this YJM 308. it's a great pedal. For the longest time, actually, I used an Ibanez Tube Screamer. I love SRB. Eric Johnson, etc., who uses that. It's an awesome pedal. But when I got this JCM 800, it's got incredible thick, double cream-esque tone, wonderful bass, and yeah, a Tube Screamer is basically a treble booster. It cuts the bass and boosts the higher frequencies, which is a great tone, but I lost some of the charm of this amp. So I started looking into other options, and first things first, I thought of the DOD 250 that Ingve uses, and after looking at those on a Facebook Marketplace and eBay, and saw they were starting price of for not the best one was 600 English pounds, so I'm not that wealthy, so I looked into other things. So I got the YJM 308, which was more affordable, and it's an incredible pedal. Boosts all the frequencies and adds some extra sparkle to the actual tone of the amp in the first place. Yeah, awesome. Next pedal, this orange one, is a little bit more mysterious. This is my secret weapon. It's my Mosky D250 X, which is a Chinese clone of the DOD 250. And I've never actually played one of those grey pedals, but this is supposedly a clone, and it's incredible with humbuckers. It doesn't sound so great with a single core, but it's just got an incredibly thick, compressed, insane tone, really. Okay, the only other pedals I use is I like modulation pedals, MXR pedals. Big fan of Van Halen, and so I do occasionally use the MXR Phase 90. This is the block writing. I used to have the script, which Van Halen favoured, but someone stole that. And so yeah, this is just, a phase is great when you're in a band situation. You just want to like a little bit of extra texture and character on your lead player. Lovely stuff. Okay, last pedal, another MXR pedal, the Micro Chorus. Excellent pedal. I use this for if I double track room guitar parts. I usually have the one on the left, either the left or the right side, with this on, just to add a little bit of extra texture and detail. I really like pedals which are simple, just like one knob. You turn it on, don't worry about the volume. Same with overdrive pedals. Gain level, I don't need any of that tone stuff, you know, you EQ'd it on the amp. I like to keep my life simple. Yeah, Micro Chorus, excellent for room guitar parts. And actually, if you listen to my recording of Paganini's Caprice 9, I use it on the whole thing. Got that. Anyway, it's that kind of sound. You get the picture. That's it. That's all the pedals I use. I have the reverb on the amp, as you saw, and I add some reverb in the mix when I record into the DAW, and also a stereo delay, which is 450 milliseconds on the left channel and 600 on the right, and it's got 3 repeats, so it's like a cascade, left to right. And yeah, again, if you listen to my Paganini album, you'll hear that on every track, that stereo delay. Otherwise, I don't really like delay. I prefer reverb, definitely.